It is the final Monday in the month of February. You're watching Woodbine Racing live from Woodbine Mohawk Park. My name is Sbred. How are we feeling, Canada? It was a tough one yesterday. The hockey game did not go according to plan. They played great, but just couldn't put the puck in the net when it counted. Congratulations to the Team America. A job well done there. Connor Hellebuck played unbelievably well. So it was a day yesterday that did not go very well for Canadian hockey fans. However, Team Canada was very well represented at the Dan Patch Awards. With more on that, let's bring in the Hall of Famer, and that is Mr. Randy Whitebulls with us in attendance. His last shift before he goes on vacay. School's out for summer. Remember that song?
Yeah. Did you have to take the school bus?
No, I walked.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
We used to take the school bus, and I'm telling you, the binders would just be going out the back of the school bus door. You know, bad pollution, but boy, were we ever happy when it was the last day.
No jacket, no shoes.
Yes.
Walk backwards with my back to the wind. You know, I just
the ultimate rebel.
minus 50 out. Didn't matter. I made it to school nonetheless. But let's talk about this achievement, because not all that often do you see a 2-year-old win a Dan Patch Award, and congratulations goes out to Bojangles. You know, there was some talk, well, he never left Canada. Well, he didn't have to leave Canada. He faced the best here and was obviously able to have a fantastic campaign. I can't wait to see what he's going to do this season. You're never 100% sure how they're going to transfer from a 2-year-old to a 3-year-old campaign. But the one thing that I found interesting when I was doing my reading, only 5 2-year-olds have won Horse of the Year honors down in the States.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not an easy thing to do for a 2-year-old, because there's always seems to be like a little bit of a bias, you know, because they're a 2-year-old, you know, and that they don't necessarily like to just give it to the 2-year-olds. But in this case, listen, he was most deserving. I don't care if all of his races were in Timbuktu. He was clearly the best standardbred that year, and he was clearly the horse that did the most for the entire industry. And that's in the States too. They got to remember that, you know, harness racing is North American wide. Whatever good is happening up here for harness racing, it's good for down there. And whatever's good for down there is good for up here. We're all in this together. Again, kind of going back to what you said about the hockey game yesterday, you know, yeah, of course, you know, you're Canadian and you want to win, but to the same effect, both teams played good. Somebody's going to have to lose, and, you know, I'm not going to be one of those guys that, you know, is going to sit there and say, well, if this had to happen, and well, listen, we had our opportunities. The puck just wasn't going in the net for us. And like you said, too, the American goalie played unbelievable lights out.
Yep, played terrific. And
but yes, this horse deserved this award. And I'm so glad that he got it. And congratulations to John Rollis, too.
Yes.
For a win down there.
Breakthrough
Bill O'Donnell,
award.
also a winner down there. Dave Maneri had Irvin Hanover had a good night, you know. So Canada was well represented, Mr. Brad.
Now, it was this time last year we were talking a lot about Chantilly and trying to figure out what type of campaign she would have. Nothing seemed to really go right for her, despite the fact she won an O'Brien Award again this season. But, you know, with the expectations we placed on her shoulders, you know, she had some obstacles this season. You're getting reports, obviously, your dad's had a chance to jog Bojangles. What's the scouting report right now? Like, has he made that transformation, do you think, from 2 to 3?
When I talked to my father a couple of days ago, the last thing he told me was that he watched him train. He didn't say how fast he went. He says he watched him train a few times, and he watched him train the other day. He said you can't hear him touch the ground. Yeah. He's got no hobbles on, and he's got no shoes on. He's got nothing. He's a completely naked horse out there. Yeah. You know, other than Moore and the jog cart. That's it. So, you know, so no check. Like, in a way, the horse is coming back stronger than he was last year. Like, I mean, where could the story end, you know?
Just knock on wood, everything goes smoothly this year.
Exactly. That's all, you know, just hope everything kind of goes smooth, and he's able to be Bojangles, you know? Really is. But like I said, I'm a firm believer in anything that happens good for harness racing, we all share in it.
And he's a Canadian bred, Ontario bred, which
is
amazing.
He is.
Ontario sired, you know, like it's awesome. What I was kind of laughing at a little bit when I was watching the awards last night and getting to see John winning that award, I was like, I've never won any of those awards. I'm like, way to go, John. That's awesome. That he was able to
I'll tell you, talk about take the harness racing by storm.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, he does a good job. He really, really does a good job, you know. You know, and he's passionate. He's like working with you, you know what I mean? It's easy. You're working with Chad, working with Elisa. You guys are passionate about horse racing. And he's that way too. It's one thing I don't think you can teach.
It's in you or it's not. You know, that's what it is. Let's take a look back at what took place on Sunday night. I was watching early on. I was kind of glad I didn't play the early pick 5. I think I would have been booted fairly early in my pick 5 ticket yesterday. A couple of prices to start off the night. Early pick 5 paid over $13,000. Late pick 5 paid very well, too. We were giving doubles to everybody. How about the answer, Scotty Young? You like that, Scotty?
Oh,
he pulls
yes.
off a couple of wins with Perfetto, 15-1 upsetter in the nightcap. But the story of the night for me was Devil's Arch. First start ever in the Open in that one's career. How good is this horse right now?
He is a really, really nice horse, you know, and I love the job that J.F. Maguire does with his horses. You know, he's a very, very sharp man, this man.
Yeah.
He don't say much, but you can just tell the way that he rolls with the bunches, you know what I mean? He doesn't get high with the highs and he doesn't get low with the lows, you know what I mean? He's just all about the horses that are under his care, and he's really proud of this guy, and he should be.
Yeah.
You don't often pick up a horse for $50,000 that you're winning the Open with.
Yeah, awesome achievement. And, you know, it's a cool storyline, too, just when horses get confident like this, what they're able to do. And he's really, really good right now, and you got to take advantage of that. And nice drive by Louis, able to duck towards the inside there to pull off the victory. And then I'm half asleep watching the last night, and is Scotty Young turned out to be Mr. Long Shot guy on this circuit?
It seems to be, for whatever reason there, you cannot, I mean, you know, he comes in here, and my understanding last night was he was already on his way home. And then Dagfin called him and said, listen, my back is sore. Can you come back, drive this horse? And I mean, that's kind of what I take more from it. It's nice to see him win with Perfetto. He's a great old horse. I bet you Scotty was just pumped, just the idea that he got to drive him. It's nice to see him get the job done. But it's just that he's so eager to drive horses, Scotty. You know what I mean? And I like that. I hope he never loses that, because to me, that's his biggest gift, is that he is so passionate about driving racehorses. You know, he would take any opportunity that was given to him.
Randy, I could be in Vancouver, and if you called me to drive Perfetto, I would come and drive the Millionaire.
I don't know if I do Perfetto. Now, if Sandpail was coming out of retirement, you might get me there, you know. I might get on an airplane then. If not, I might have to take the train. That's a long way home.
Yeah, I was wondering what happened with Dagfin, because I saw him on the winner's circle.
Sore back.
So he was named on the horse, and then Scotty picked it up, eh?
Yeah, I talked to him last night there briefly there, and he's, you know, Dagfin's kind of like me. He's not really, he's tall and long-legged, and sometimes it's hard on your back
when they're pulling you.
Well, to be crammed in that little spot, you know. So last night he was hurt, and there's no doubt about it.
That famous story where you had to drive in Trevor Ritchie's bike.
Oh, yeah. And then
we'll tell that story another day, but
and then finding out that Trevor set it all up.
Yeah, it's a classic story, but we'll tell that story when we have more time. Let's take a look at some stats and standings, shall we? We're always kind of trying to figure out who's got the hot hand right now, and you know, no James right now, although Paige, his wife, is putting stuff on Facebook. Oh, it looks like it's 40 degrees there. It looks so warm. It looks so nice. I'm just so jealous. But
he's down at Walkabout Creek.
Yeah, Louis Waugh, right there in the mix of things. And good for Mr. Tyler Borth. This guy probably thought there for a month he couldn't do anything right. And now he makes it onto the board, which is great to see.
Yeah, and if you're going to get hot, he's kind of getting hot into the right time of the year. I don't really care how hot I am in January, you know. I mean, I want to be hot stake season. Big number there, too, from Bobby McClure. Look at that win percentage, Jeff. 30%. He, you know, only the 20 starts and 6 times a winner. Like, I mean, you know, this guy's been driving lights out for, you know, about 2 straight years now. I mean, always a great driver, but lights out now for about 2 straight years.
Weren't you 0 for like 90-something to start off the year?
Yeah, on one of my biggest years, everybody's, oh, you know, you're going to have a big year this year. I started out 0 for 97. 97 drives, never won a race. I was ready to jump off the CN Tower. You know, I never took that very well. But by the end of the year, I was on top of the back of the page. So it worked out for me. Keep it going, Tyler. You know, don't give up. Keep it going.
That's why there's 12 months in the year, my friends. J.F. Maguire, we were just talking about him. Carmen's been in attendance as of late. You know what's interesting about these stats, though? Like, normally to make it on this board, you probably have to win about 4 or 5 races as a trainer, but nobody really dominated this past week.
No, they didn't. You know, it's nice to see Carmen in there, too. Jody's becoming a regular right in that spot there.
Yeah.
I'm just going to write her name right there. Nice to see Carmen, you know, up in there as well with the 3 wins, and Dean and JF, you know, 50% win averages on both there. But look at the earnings on JF Maguire, you know, $37,000 in 4 starts, Jeff. That's the way to do it.
I know Dean's brother very well, Justin, very good thoroughbred trainer. Now trains down in Maryland, and he did very well at Woodbine before going down to the States, but both very sharp horse people. In fact, when Dean got sick, Justin helped him out.
I was going to say they're very sharp brothers. Very, very sharp dudes.
Yeah, so let's look at our stats and standings as we get you set for today's racing program. I'm taking some chances on tonight's card,
too.
Randy. You know,
Me too.
I didn't want to be too chalky, and we're going to get to those races for you coming up a little bit later on. In fact, in the first race of the day, Randy's going somewhat price shopping here in this first race. We've got a field of 9 that will line up in the gate in here. And this is one thing that you have to watch very, very carefully. So there's 8,000 open claimers and there's 8,000 condition events. The condition race is obviously a lot easier.
Much. Yeah, that's the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
You know, I think, an 8,000, I would say it goes 8,000 condition, 20,000 claiming condition, and then 8 straight.
Right.
You know, these are pretty, you can get some pretty tough horses in these straight 8s, eh? Where did you go, Jeffrey?
So I went with Titanic Hanover. Now, something obviously went amiss on January the 31st when this horse was claimed, but I kind of, listen, you're not going to learn a ton with a qualifier with a horse like this. It's pretty established, knows a thing or two, knows how to get around the racetrack, but I just kind of like the way the horse did it. And speaking of barns that are off to great starts so far this season, this outfit's done very, very well. So I think on his best game, he's capable of doing it. I think the horse to beat is He Swift. Right now on the board at odds of 5-2, but Passionate Prince, you're going to focus right now on a horse, Randy, that's 22-1 right now on the board.
Ooh, lovely, eh?
Yes.
There you go. Okay, so Titanic Hanover got him in for 4th. See where you're going. He's Swift, got him in for 2nd. He's who I'm trying to beat.
Yeah.
So again, I see where you're going. So let's take a look at the 2 horse in here. Passionate Prince. Let's take a look at this replay. I thought it was a really, really good effort. Now, he has the 6 hole and just busts out of there. And 26-4, that is a big, big lead. Now, he's been racing in the condition claimers, moving into these straight 8s. But look on his summary. He's got a mark of 51, 181,000 made, 10 years old. I think he can. It's not going to be that much of a difference for him. I just like the way that he is. So Billy Davis driving this guy last time. He took a little bit of a shuffle down towards the back, then he sprung him back loose again, and now he's going to start coming back through here, but unfortunately he's going to land right on a wall of horses again, and that's as far as Passionate Prince is going to go. He still keep moving forward when he's trying to stick handle him through there. I like the leave. I just didn't really care too much for the shuffle that he took later, so I'm kind of looking at it as I think that He Swift is at his very best when he's in front.
Yeah, agree.
And he's got an outside post where he's had a few inside posts lately at the outside wing. I think Jody busts He Swift out of there. I'm hoping that Billy's going to be able to land right in on his back, and then we'll see if he still has pace on the end of it.
You're price shopping. I'm never going to talk you off a price play like that. And listen, he's good right now. Does he win as much as he would like? Probably not, but he is good right now, and you got to take advantage of that, right?
Yeah, because if he does come a big race, then all of a sudden, you'll never get him at that price.
Yeah, exactly. So Randy towards the 2 Passionate Prince. I'll take a shot there with Titanic Hanover, who comes off the bench for Malik Smith. Let's get to race number 2 on the card. I was really kicking myself when Hazel's Muscle won back on February the 16th, because I went towards Love Sensation. That was the one that Anthony McDonald drove, and raced okay, but Hazel's Muscle was just much, much better. Now, we've seen some horses be able to move from those non-winners of 1 into face non-winners of 2 and move up in class. Royal Flush Dale comes to mind. The horse has steadily moved up the ranks. Do you think he's capable of repeating despite the fact now that he has to face tougher?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm a fan already. I think this is a pretty nice one. I think we could be looking at a gold colt here.
Okay.
3-year-old gold. Worst case scenario, you're going to be looking at a 3-year-old grass rooter.
Right.
But I think we're looking at a gold colt. I love the way that he looks right now. I love the way that Todd's driving him. The first week, he was huge that week. It just didn't work out. Took some interference, but boy, we both know how much pop he had on the end of it. So let's take a look at last week. Another sweet trip by Todd Ratchford for this guy, and that's the reason what's going to help him when he has to move up in classes, because he's not going to be doing it tired. He's not spending a whole lot of time on the outside. They've really been easy trips, but what I like about him that he's showing me is the gait. I like the gait. I like the desire. I think we're looking at a golder here.
So going off Stride right now going to the qualifying school is a horse that you and I have been chasing, the one that Jody drove on there. But and now here comes a very confident Mr. Todd at Ratchford. I think it's safe to say he knows he has the horse on the inside beat. And look how well clear they are of everybody else in here, Randy, as well.
Yeah, and every time he asks him, he moves on again, and he moves on again every time. So I think there's a little bit of laziness in here, too.
A little bit of waiting on horses.
Yeah, and that's good for a trotter. Last thing you want is to have a hot trotter. So I just like everything about him. I like the way that he's progressing, and you can't say enough about any horse that looks like they're progressing, and they're in the back stable, because it's just you don't get any better than the back stable for trotters, in my opinion. Anyway.
Underwood Awards resolved issues. Was no match for Royal Flush Dale. No problem there. Lost to Validus. That horse is obviously really good. It's almost like it's his turn. I kind of think that could be the consideration in there. Now, Sandy Lawrence is making an interesting change here with French Money Hanover, a horse who's been struggling to finish off miles. Now she's electing to put the hobbles off. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I was going to say put them on. So you have to watch that very. See, I miss that distinction sometimes when I do my handicapping. I'll notice when they put it on, because you see the symbol. When they take it off, it almost like they should have like the LASIK symbol with the hobbles with the line through it.
It's easy to miss.
Because I missed it.
Yeah, it's easy to miss.
So I think that's something that should be changed in the program.
I completely agree. I completely agree. I think there's a few things that they could do different in the programming. Lisa brought up the one-day foaling dates. I love that as a handicapping.
Yeah, big time.
If you got 2 3-year-olds and one was born in February and one was born in June,
huge
give
difference.
me the February any day of the month.
Yeah.
So resolved issues, obviously getting better each time. He's actually the one I'm playing against. French Money Hanover. I don't really understand why she's doing what she's doing, other than the fact that maybe she thinks that maybe Frenchie's just not putting out the way that she should, and maybe she's thinking by losing the hobbles, it might help her attitude a little bit. That would be about the only thing that I would see that way. And Hazel Muscle, we showed you that one. But the one that I thought it made a huge recovery last week was this 3-horse Numero 10. Did you use him at all?
No, I looked though. And you know what? He's capable. He is capable of being a lot better than what he has been as of late.
He has, but you know what's kind of, I threw him in on the bottom, but what's kind of funny is that, and I mean, both of them were at Grand River, but he had the 3 at Grand River, start post position 3, and he run. Then he comes with the post position 3 at Grand River again, and he runs. And now he's got post position 3 in here tonight, and he run his last start. So I don't know. I think that there's ability there, but I kind of got to wait to see him put it all together, using him in on the bottom.
That's Files. Now, race number 3 on the program. A lot of people, I think, potentially are going to single Volcanic on their pick 5 tickets, and deservedly so. He's been so good. He only really has one blemish on his comeback trail, and that was second time off the bench. But since then, he's been really tough, and they threw everything at him last time, and he still won. He won by a head on that day. But Randy and I, we might have eggs on our faces once this race is all done, but Smiles for Miles is one that you and I are both gravitating towards. Now, what is it that you like more about this horse? Is it second time Lasix, or is it the treble trip angle from that most recent race?
The rotation.
Yeah.
I find that his biggest, like I'm amazed that he's gone on to the Lasix, because I mean he was winning without Lasix and chopping it to boot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't often see that. So I was shocked when she went to the Lasix on him, and he did race really good. But I've always looked at him as being a horse that needs that 7-day rotation. When he gets off the 7-day rotation, he's not quite the same kind of horse. Much like one of his biggest nemesis in this class, Wicked Express. He's another horse that seems to thrive being in every 7 days. You know what I mean? So I like that about him, but it was a good mile last week. So
I thought it was loaded.
Let's take a look at this.
Let's do it.
And see what we got going. So Smiles for Miles are going to be me and Mr. Bratt's pick in here, and I had him down as locked in good. So let's go. J.R. Plant sitting in the 3 or sitting third on the rail right now, coming out of the 2 hole. I think it was Jody, but he's going to vacate, and then that's going to move J.R. right up into the deuce in the pouring rain. But guess what? This is as far as it goes here. Now, these 2 horses out in front of you, that's Volcanic and Wicked Express. And look at J.R. nestled in on their back, not able to do anything with his horse. He can just sit there and ride along. So I think that Smiles for Miles coming back on a good rotation. Second start Lasix. J.R. Plant looked like he had him locked in. Look at this run out too. He's right up alongside of them. Yeah, I think we could pull the trigger.
Now, this never happens for you and I, but the fact that Volcanic was 9-2 last week was absolutely mind-blowing.
Unbelievable, eh?
Because the computers hammered Wicked Express behind the gates. They just zapped in on this horse, and my jaw was on the floor when I saw 9-2. I couldn't believe it. Now, we know that Wicked Express is capable of winning this race, but I just don't know if he's at his best right now, Randy.
I don't know. Again, he's coming back on that 7-day rotation, and I think it was so important to the 1 and the 5 when they're on that rotation, you know. When they're on that rotation, it seems like they're different kind of horses. They put up different kind of efforts, but when they're not on them, they're easily beatable, and that kind of bothers me, but I agree with you. I mean, you know, Volcanic has to be about what, 1 to 5 tonight.
Yeah.
He's an easy play against.
He is.
You know,
he's
on
no
good
fun
form
to play tonight.
That's right, and he's on good form,
Yeah.
but not unbeatable form.
No. And they threw everything at him last week, and he still held on, which was impressive. Let's get to race number 4 now on the program. If Randy's horse wins this race, folks, I'm going to lose it. Because I picked this horse first time out and teased me in the qualifier, and then I picked the horse last time and showed no interest until about halfway down the stretch.
lane. Yeah.
And all of a sudden, this Up to No Gouda says, I got a little bit of ability. And all of a sudden comes home with the last quarter in 28-3. Now, all of a sudden, this guy named Mario shows up to drive the horse. He's driving 2 for Mr. McClure this evening.
Yes, Uncle Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Mario Mouse, I think he's picking up a live drive. You know, the last qualifier on this guy was unbelievably good in that one. And, you know, he's going to come back for this after this first start. McClure did a good job with him. Like Jeff said, had the 2-hole, went to the back, didn't do a whole lot, and was large on the end of it. Now, normally, I wouldn't probably play this horse, but only for one reason. If you go down to the qualifier on January the 16th, look at the gate speed.
Yeah.
So it's there.
Yep.
And then they've gone backwards with them both times since. So the gate speed is there. And trust me, the mouse likes to leave. You know, so I think that if he goes out of there with this horse, he could catch himself some really live cover, like a She's Got Tricks or something, draft along, and then take one run at them. So Up to No Gouda is going to be my top pick in here. But I do also say as well that I'm very interested on this 6 horse, None Shall Pass.
Yeah.
You know, had the hobbles on for a while, comes up here to Dagfinn Henriksen's from Marcus Melander's. All of a sudden, the hobbles come off. Good qualifier, good last quarter, and all of a sudden, Trevor Henry, who I don't see anywhere on here, all of a sudden, he's enlisted to drive this guy.
Yeah.
Another guy that he doesn't mind going to the front. And trust me, if Trevor gets to the front, None Shall Pass. So this could work out good for him.
Now, I might need to have to see some medical help with my pick in this race because this horse never wants to win. But Dolce's Sueños Deo, if you're ever going to win Dolce's, you might fall into victory here tonight because I just think the field is that light for you compared to what you've been facing. So Dolce's, you've got to win. If not, I'm going to have to seek some medical help and get somebody to check out my noggin because I might be barking up the wrong tree in here. But
what could happen if Dulce Sueños Deo is like on top by 2 just before the wire?
Here comes Up to No Gouda.
Up to No Gouda comes by and nails him on the wire.
I'll just walk and go home. Race 4 on the program. We'll wrap up another multiple
Stick around for
wager.
that one.
Yeah. Let's get to the 5th now on the card. We scratched number 7, this being Crazy Party Boys. We have a field of 10, but note the 11 will start from the 2nd tier. How challenging, you often talk about the rail not being great. How challenging is it for a horse starting for the 2nd tier?
I don't like it. It's not so bad on a half-mile track, but on a big track, it's, you know, because all you're doing is you're trying to adjust to what the guy ahead of you.
Right.
I want to make my own decisions, not what he's going to do.
Now, the good news is Papa Joe's got a little bit of speed, but not an overabundance of it in here. So I've gone towards Tour Champion. The draw gets a little bit better in here. I don't know where that mile came from last week. I mean, I wasn't surprised the horse won because the horse took money, but for this guy to go 53-3, I mean, that was smoking.
Unbelievable. Now, I'm going to play against him. Now, I didn't like him last week because he had the rail. He's a big horse. He's free-legged. You know, there was a lot of things kind of going against him. And he hadn't been winning. He was finishing second, the whole deal. So I played against him. But here's what I think might have happened. And I'm going to play against him again because I think that this might have happened. That night, we had like a really, really soft track.
Right.
It was like half mud, but like it's soft, really, really forgiving, I would say, if a horse had sore feet or anything like that. And this horse responded in a big way. Now, maybe he was just getting better. Maybe he was good to go. I'm not sure. But it just seems weird to me that a horse that struggled so bad and had so many opportunities to get into the winner's circle and couldn't get it done, but then all of a sudden he gets on a soft track, goes down the road, and he wins by 8 lengths. So do it again for me, Tour Champion, and I'll put you on top. But in the meantime, I'm going to go with All Bets on Gary. Coming from the second tier, J.F. McGuire, the open trot slayer, is going to make a bridle change on All Bets on Gary. They're going to take the blind bridle off, and they're going to go to the blinkers on this guy. So I like the change, too.
One thing about Tour Champion, before we take a look at your Pick 5 tickets, I obviously have not followed Travis Henry's career at the B tracks as much as since he's come here. But the one thing that I have found since he's gone here, he can really wake up a horse.
Oh, yeah.
And this horse really woke up with him driving for the first time. So that is something that intrigues me a little bit.
That could be the reason that we're looking at
Yeah.
is first-time Travis
Yeah.
Henry.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I want to see him do
No,
it
and
again.
I get that because he's going to be the favorite in this race. Let's take a look at your ticket. Let's see how deep you're going to go here with your Pick 5 to wrap up the sequence here coming up in the 5th race of the day. What do we have in here? I can kind of afford this ticket. So
Yes,
your
it's
key's
not
gonna
too bad.
Show up in the second. You're going to key in on Hazel's Muscle. Okay, I can see that. You like that horse quite a bit tonight. So, and listen, if you like somebody else in there to toss another horse, it's only going to cost you 48. So it's not like you're got a crazy ticket here by any means.
No, and I mean, I might, like I said, who knows? Maybe in the 4th race there, I might single up to No Gouda.
That would be a gutsy single.
Okay, so yeah, I'm singling in race number 2, and that's going to be, Jeff was saying, Hazel's Muscle. I think he's ready to graduate into there. I think we're looking at a gold colt right now. In race number 3, I went skinny, Smiles for Miles, and I'm also going to back him up with Summer Dancer, who I thought was a big effort in his last as well. In race number 4, I'm going to go 5 and 6, so that's going to be up to No Gouda. None Shall Pass. Going to throw him in. And then in race number 5, I think this is a tough little race, and this Crazen Party Boy being scratched actually helps me out because he was bothering me too. So I'm going to go 6 Relentless, 9 Tour Champion, and Gary in on the bottom. All bets on Gary.
I think Relentless is a real wake-up prospect. And actually, the horse woke up a little bit, I would say, off the claim. They faced tougher. This horse went from an 8,000 claiming condition event to a 20 here and has raced very, very well for Kyle Boston. Still doing some tinkering with equipment here tonight. You get the best post position of any post here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. So I like the fact you're tossing that one into the mix of things because I think a lot of people just go 9-11 in that race.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at one of the later races on the program now. We're going to fast forward to race number 8 now on the card. And I must admit, Randy, I had it in the back of my head when I was doing my handicapping in here because I remember, when Royal Flush Dale won here back on January 26th, you thought this horse is pretty good, and he's just gotten better and better, and he's moved up the ranks, and he's going to have to be even better here tonight. Now, another horse that is going to win tonight that might send me to the asylum is this J4 Cash because I've been chasing this horse forever too, but you're going to go price shopping in here. Before we get to Royal Flush Dale, let's talk about your pick in here. Let's talk about Florida Guy in here. And there has been some gaps because of weather issues and transportation issues with this horse. And now this one's back on a regular rotation.
Another horse that I think really, really relies on that 7-day rotation. When she can get him raced, say 2 or 3 starts in a row, that's when you can jump all over him. And he's been up in this non-winners of 3, gone on to the Lasix program. When he's on his game, this is a really, really nice horse. She's got a lot of nice horses, Katarina, but this one is one of my favorites because he can leave and he can still finish on the end of it there. So let's take a look at Florida Guy's last replay. And, coming in a bit late, raced on the 2nd, on the 9th scratch, and then races on the 16th. I think that's we're at race 6. Oh, I thought we were doing race 8.
I thought we were doing race 8, guys. Did I skip the 6th? My apologies, guys.
There we go.
Oh, sorry about that. That's my fault.
No worries.
So let's get to the 6th here. Oh, I'm throwing Randy off here. I'm on vacation, apparently. So the 6th race is an all-winners of 3 events. Crypto Hanover gets the hobbles put on here tonight. Now, you were talking to me off camera about the condition of this race and the fact that, you look at poor Southwind Manhattan. She's a one-time winner, and she's got to take on a six-time winner in this field in an Angel Flyaway. How much of a challenge is that, do you think?
A non-winners of 2. You got Angel Flyaway in here with 6 wins, and you got Southview Aviator in here with 7 wins, and I don't know, to get those kinds of wins, they got to do a lot of racing.
Yeah.
So they've got a lot more experience than some others. And I don't necessarily think that it's the easiest thing. Now, let's kind of quickly start with Crypto. They're going to add the hobbles. I'm happy to see that. But I'm going to throw this one in for third. I really hope that Louis just, hits the fence, does nothing with her. She needs to start to get confidence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If she starts making breaks in the hobbles, then where do you go? So I'm hoping that they go real easy on her. Southview Aviator, I think that this guy's got some ability. Raced good in his last, I think he can move up into this, or he was racing in the non-winners of 3, and then his last, he moved to the non-winners of 2. I think he can come up with another big effort in here. We're not going to show you the replay, but Southwind Manhattan is the way that I'm going to go in here. I like Maggie's touch. Now, she's a 5-year-old racing against 3-year-olds, but again, going back to Southwind Manhattan, I think we might be looking at a Grand Circuit kind of a horse here. So I don't mind playing her on top of some of these, other kinds of horses. And which way did you go?
I went with Southwind Manhattan, too.
Yeah.
I think she was in a very tough race last time out. I mean, she's against Royal Flush Dale and Validus. I mean, those demolished this
Yeah,
field.
and what kind of bothers me a little bit, like she had the 2-hole way out of position.
Yeah.
But you show me anybody in here that shows the last quarter in 27-4. That's the thing. Yeah, she was out of position, but she absolutely flew on the end of it. And I don't think Matt is going to go over the top with her, but I think he's going to have her a little closer. I think she's, the logical in there.
So my apologies to the crew. They were probably just cursing at me, saying, "Jeff, what are you doing? Read the script." And I skipped a race. So let's now get to race number 8. And let's touch on what we were saying about Florida guys. So you like the fact that Florida guys on a regular rotation right now.
On Lasix.
On Lasix. The comeback race lost to a real sharp horse right now in Benito Boy. But more than anything, it's the 7-day rotation that you like.
I love it. And, the fact that he's locked in. I think he's live. So let's take a look at Florida Guy. And then maybe you guys can let me know if you think the same. This is a horse that's been racing in non-winners of 3 a lot. A lot of these other horses are coming up to the non-winners of 3, but he's not. He's been here before, and I'm telling you, this is a nice horse. He really is. He just needs to be on that 7-day rotation, and then we see different things. So there's Jody with him now, sitting third, and already Jody's going side to side. He's looking, and you don't do that if you're chasing to try to get him to keep up. You're only looking when you're looking to see where you can maybe apply this. And look at Jody now. He's moved over, but he's in a worse spot than he was before. And he still has not asked this horse one iota. And here he is still. Nowhere to go. And I mean, look at everybody up front that's going to win this race. They're being chased. Look at this guy. He's 2 lengths behind them and has never once been asked to trot forward. I think he's going to be ultra live. He's got good gate speed to deal with. The biggest thing is Jody's got to get him into a good spot and keep him out of trouble.
So let's get into your handicapping psyche in here. Do you like Florida Guy that much, or you just think that Royal Flush Dale is one that's maybe a little bit vulnerable to move up in class here tonight?
No, I don't think it's got anything to do with the class. The biggest thing is he's got the rail. And I'm scared where he's going to get away from the rail. He's been getting away kind of bad from middle of the gate. The rail is a beast of its own. It pushes back onto you really bad, and sometimes you come off that into the race with stalled momentum, and you can easily get away 8. This horse is a killer, Royal Flush Dale. I don't know if he gets away 15th if I can beat him, but if I'm going to beat him, it's going to be now, because this horse was locked in, Florida Guy. I think that he's capable of coming up with a 54 race. The other horse has the rail, and I'm scared of the rail. So that's where I'm going. I'm just thinking that maybe Anthony's going to be out of position, or, maybe he's going to come out of there with him and he can make a jump.
Yep.
So I'm playing the rail.
We're going to skip race number 9. Side Effects is probably going to be the heavy favorite in that race, looking to extend her winning streak. So let's get to race number 10 now on the program. We scratched the 1, that being Elliott Moose. We scratched number 3, O'Hare Hanover. Carry over the jackpot high 5 is $33,201. Getting on to Lasix's Crazier World off the comeback. And this one's going to start for the first time so far this season. Sergeant Slaughter is trying to get into an easier spot. Second time Lasix for Parlay King. I mean, you have so many different directions you can go in here. But all of a sudden, Doug McNair shows up on an Emma Christoforou horse by the name of Rose Run X-Con. So let's take a look at what you think about this one's race 2 starts ago.
Let's take a look. February the 8th, picking up McNair. This one, Bobby McClure driving at the odds of 42-1. And then she's also had a start in with this guy right after that at Flamborough. So coming in here with a real nice rotation. There's Bobby. Back there at the back of the pack, this guy's wearing, looks like he's got the yellow on here. I think Bobby was driving for Murner this week. And then Emma Christoforou, it looks like he raced very good for Emma over at Flamborough. And she's going to come back here with this guy. And look at this guy coming on the outside. I think he's in a nice little spot. There's non-winners of 4,000, last 4 starts. The last time he was in here, he was in a straight 22 claimer. He's still moving forward, and on the run out, he's going to keep moving forward. So I'm going to take a stab at this guy. Another horse that I want to take a shot. But you know what's funny with this one, Jeff? Normally when a horse races that good, you know, I kind of want the regular driver to come back, but McClure is down celebrating with Bojangles down in Florida. So I'm picking up Doug McNair, which is obviously one of my favorites. But what's interesting is Dale Spence drives this guy at Flamborough, races really good. The horse that I have in for second is going to be the horse Dale Spence will be driving in here. That's Parlay King. I think Parlay King is the horse to beat.
Some mile last time at Flamborough. Second time Lasix for that one. What about the class with Granite Beach in here? Like, is this a drop, do you think? Like, how do I interpret this?
This is a huge drop compared to what he'd been racing in, but what he'd been racing in over at the Bees. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if this is a big drop, the optional 25 coming over here to this. I would think that it's a big drop. You know what I mean? I got him in for in on the bottom of my ticket, I think. Yeah, I got him in on the bottom of my ticket, in for 5th, I guess it is. But on good form, and you know, right now, Travis Cullen. I said it with Elisa yesterday. He was a good driver when he came to the circuit.
Yeah.
He's manifested himself into be a great driver now.
Neither's choice of this one and Elliot Moose. I realize Elliot Moose is now scratched, but still that does give that one a bit of a vote for confidence. So let's take a look at our pick 5 tickets of the late variety now. And Randy's going to go first. His key shows up in the 7th, and that is Music to My Gears. Now, that's a key that is a little bit interesting to me because I do think he's really good right now, but he's kind of the king of the bees recently. Can he do it on this locality?
I think so. You know, he's 14 years old. He's well bred. I mean, this is what he won an award last year, didn't he, for Kenny?
It was one of the B-track horses of the year. I don't know which track it was.
I mean, his form is just fantastic. I don't think he knows how old he is out there right now. And to tell you the truth, I don't think it's an overly tough bunch.
I
know what I
agree.
mean? I mean, a lot of people are going to like a Ragonite in there. I used him down in on the bottom, and a lot of people are going to go back to Captain Highliner. Now, maybe I'm making a mistake on Captain Highliner, but I thought that was more of the fact that Travis drove him so well as opposed to how good the horse was.
Let's take a look at my late pick 5 tickets. What do I have put together in here? I got Kiki. So I've got Southwind Manhattan and a Ragonite. I had to do it, Randy. If not, my ticket's $72, $144, something like that. So if I get through those first 2 legs, then I'm in pretty good shape. That's a big if because I am being a little bit aggressive from a race and ticket construction point of view. So let's look at my late pick 5 ticket if you do want to play along. So we got plays of the night that we want to pass along for everybody as well. And the guy that's going to go lead off is Mr. Waples, and he's got a worth look horse right now at 21-1.
Ooh, yeah, Passionate Prince. And then my beat the favorite is going to be in race 3, Smiles for Miles. Jeff likes him as well. Waples Watch, 8th race. We showed you that replay. Florida guy. I mean, you know, I might be reaching, being that he's in against that rail horse, but I'm going to try to beat him. And my all-in, like you just said, Side Effects. Right now, I mean, I think he's going to be about 1 to 5.
And not just that, the drifties are gone. The horse isn't drifting anymore, which is terrific. And let's take a look at my plays of the day. What do I've got? So Smiles for Miles, I'm with you on that one. Tour Champion, just the visuals were so powerful. I like Southwind Manhattan. I think the horse is that good. And the Invader, Granite Beach, is one that I like coming up in race number 10 on the card. As for the others that join us on a regular basis, Kevin Plaucha says the Green Goose for him. He had a pick the other night that finished a very good second when you were away on Friday at like 10-1. Raced great, too.
He's had a few lately there. He's a pretty sharp guy.
Yeah, he is sharp. Angel Flyaway, that's where Garnet's going to go. That one coming up in race number 6. And South Aviator, Ghislaine Paquette says that one might surprise coming up in race number 6. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll get you all set for the opener as we wrap up the week of action here from Woodbine Mohawk Park.